Hi, I'm Dr. Joe Niamtu, LoveThatFace.com. We're going to talk a little bit about facelift complications, and there are several things that really can give away a bad facelift. One are hypertrophic scars, two are changes in the hairline, which is pretty hard for me to show you that, and the third one is a pixie ear deformity when the earlobe is pulled way down. This happens from several things, usually from an inexperienced surgeon that has overcut the cheek flap, and what happens when you sew everything together, the patient's lying down, and when they stand up, gravity pulls down on the cheek and elongates the earlobe. So unfortunately, some people don't understand that there's a fix for this. The easiest way to fix it, if there's enough extra skin to open the incision and pull the skin back a little bit and reposition the earlobe. At the later part of this presentation, I'll also show you a way where you can do it without a revision facelift. In any event, it's important to seek out an experienced surgeon to avoid complications like this, although occasionally they can happen to anyone. And it's also important to seek out an experienced facelift surgeon when you want to have something like this repaired. I'm Dr. Joe Niamtu, LoveThatFace.com.
So you can see now that after releasing the lobe that was pulled way down, and of course with our facelift we pulled the flaps back, and now that lobe is actually suspended in here and in a much more normal position, or as normal as we could get it from what it was before. And so that's how you fix a pixie ear if you're redoing a facelift, but you have to have enough skin for it. All right, so here we have a pixie lobe that is pulled down from improper facelift technique in another location. And we're going to release this, and you'll see it spring back. So you can see how that is pulling away, how much tension was put on that lobe, and that was 6 years ago. So the earlobe should be way up here, and it was pulled way down. So that shows you the mechanics of a pixie ear deformity.
So you can see that this is a patient that had just a bad facelift by someone, and you can see there's a lot of scarring around the ear because of excess tension, and the lobe is pulled very inferiorly. In this picture you can see after we make an incision around the ear that the earlobe springs back to its normal position without the pixie type configuration, and you can see how much this was overcut by the surgeon that performed this. Now when we do the revision facelift and pull extra skin, we are able to pull that skin back up to the bottom of the earlobe, and when we reposition the earlobe, it'll position passively into a normal earlobe. So this is the most comprehensive way to fix a pixie lobe deformities. There are other ways to do this as well, but if you can repeat the facelift with extra skin, that's the way to do it. Now, some patients present and they don't have enough skin to do a revision facelift, so they want to do something different. In that case, we'll release the lobe as shown in this picture, and when you do that, again, the lobe retracts into a more normal position. The problem with doing this is that after you release the lobe, and you have to undermine a little bit so you can free up some skin, and we'll do a little undermining. So what this does is loosens the skin around the lobe so we can release it and get that skin to a higher position. And then we'll make a little incision under the lobe and bring that skin together and reposition the lobe in a higher position. So this is one of the ways we do this without. These are pixie earlobe deformities that I have fixed in my practice, and as you look at these, you can see that the ear was pulled down, which is a typical pixie lobe, and that we have released these and made a more normal rounded earlobe, and this is the way that we repair pixie lobe deformities.